Vlogmas. I have missed a couple of days, I think, but oh, a bit of a frog in the throat this morning. I've been suffering with hay fever and it's just driving me nuts. Today I have a few things I want to do. Granger and I just went for a walk. He's just come to say hi. You probably just can see him down in the bottom. Hi. There you go. Yeah, we've just been for a walk, which you would have seen, and today is my very first time back doing 36-hour fasts. So I started out the year doing these. I lost 10 kilos really quickly. Heaven knows I got it to lose. I've been looking at these Vlogmas videos and going, when did that happen? And my birthday promise to myself this year was that I would lose the weight by next birthday. So today is back doing a 36-hour fast. Like I said, I haven't done one since the start of the year. It's really kind of, as I've gotten older, the only way I've really been able to shift weight. I have been doing low carb a lot as well, and that hasn't really shifted the weight as much as I would like. So I think that the fasting is going to do it for me. I mean, it did it for me earlier in the year. I lost 10 kilos and put it all back on in the meantime. Why I stopped, I don't know. I'm kicking myself. But yes, today I am back doing, oh gosh, you're a cuddle muffin. I'm back doing a 36-hour fast. So because of that, I'm going to try and keep myself quite busy. That always helps. Drink lots of water, have a tea later on, because I've actually quit drinking coffee in the afternoons because I found it was really affecting my sleep. That being said, I had the worst sleep last night. I was awake maybe every hour, every 2 hours, needing to pee, and it's just, ugh, just a horrible night's sleep. Then I woke up too early because my housemate had to shower because he went to work early this morning. And yeah, I've just had a terrible night's sleep. But I do find sometimes it can go either way. Sometimes I'm really wretched for the day. Other times it actually gives me more energy. And hopefully with the fasting, I'll actually go the energy route. So we'll see how we go. I'm talking my mouth off at the moment. I had a coffee within the last hour. So that's probably what all of this is. But for now, seeing I did have such a terrible night, I thought I might just ease into the day, do it a little bit quietly, sit, have a little bit of a nap, watch some YouTube, and yeah, and then later on I will get to some of the things that I want to do. So basically what I want to do is I have a bunch of candle making supplies that I purchased quite a while ago because I'm quite enjoying having candles. However, through some research and things like that, I found out that beeswax candles are really the only healthy ones for you. So I bought some beeswax to make candles. I'm not going to make candles today. However, the box that it came in is still sitting in my entryway. I don't know how long. So I thought what I would do today is take that box and put it into, I've got plastic boxes that I use to store my yarn, like crate things. So I was going to use one of those to hopefully fit all my candle making supplies in. Just, you know, the wicks. I've got wooden wicks as well, so it makes that nice crackly sound. So I'm really actually quite excited to start candle making. However, I just haven't done it yet. Always something taking my brain. I'm the dog from Up and I'm just chasing the next thing. So yeah, I want to tidy that up. I want to finally go through the fabric today, which I spoke about days ago going through. So I want to go through that, possibly go through some of my other craft supplies. I have so much stuff that I don't know if I'm ever going to use it, because you don't want to give it away because it's like, what if I do need it? And but the thing is like all this stuff I just haven't used. So I'm thinking I'm going to go through that. Got a little bit of housework to do, got to do some washing, got to do some vacuuming. I won't take you along with that because it's pretty friggin' boring. But yeah, if there's anything interesting, I will of course bring you along. But for now, I'm just going to fill up my water, watch some YouTube, do a bit of knitting, and see how we go from there. purchased some, let me get in front of the middle of the camera, purchased some pots. So these are for filling with candles. So I hope that I ordered everything right, because they do have a little chart that tells you which wicks and which wood wicks to use, depending on the size of the candle, so that it burns the entire layer of wax. Instead of having like that rim around the edge, it'll actually burn all the way across evenly, which means there's no waste on your candle as well. So I've got these ones with like a geometric print on them and like a wooden top, which I guess works as a coaster. I'm not sure. Yeah, it would work as a coaster. So there's those. I got these kind of coppery ones, because like I love rose gold, I love copper, that kind of thing. So obviously this is, you probably can't see it on the camera, but on these it is a metallic kind of coppery gold colour, bronzy colour. These of course are very coppery. And then I just got some really basic, I suppose, votive glass jars with wooden lids. So yeah, I bought those 6 containers. I have been saving jars and things as well, from the kitchen, from my pantry, and I'll probably use those also to put candles in. So I bought, I think, 2 kilos of the beeswax. So they're just little pastels. You probably saw earlier when I showed you, and these really do smell like honey. I did read that you can fragrance beeswax candles. However, the beeswax doesn't hold on to the fragrance like of essential oils and things like that as much as a typical paraffin or soy candle. So I'm going to do some experiments. I've got some essential oils, so I'm going to experiment with how long the smell stays in the beeswax. If I find that my experiments are not successful, it'll just be basic beeswax and it'll just be the honey smell. So I can tick another thing off the list. Alright, so this giant pile here is all of the stuff that I pulled out to give to my mother-in-law to take to school. So I think the kids are going to have quite a bit of fun with that. I ended up getting rid of quite a lot of stuff, like just, that's like, I think it's broderie anglaise. So there's this stuff, there was some old sheets that are just old flannel sheets. I've made myself a nightie out of that. I don't really care for green, as you probably know, so that can go. Some old bits of curtain, lots of upholstery fabrics and things like that that I'm just not going to use. Yeah, this is all going to be heading out the door. I've just got to pack it all up. But yeah, I feel successful. My drawers over here, that is now just interfacing again, which is what it was initially, but then it got filled up with fabric. And then all of these are kind of grouped loosely. This is mostly quilting cottons. Then I've got in this one like twills and things like that. This one at the end is got some garment fabric, and then finally cut out projects that are half done. So I'm pretty happy with my progress. Can we just have a moment of appreciation for my neon syngonium? I freaking love this plant. It's been out in my sunroom area, and I had an aglaonema in here, but I feel like the aglaonema might have been losing its speckles because it was too low light here. Syngoniums actually don't mind a little bit of low light, so I've just swapped out my aglaonema for my syngonium, and I've just walked past it now and just admired it, so I thought I would share it with you. So I just had a little bit of a knit. I'm nearly done with my slip stravaganza, so that is amazing. I just need to do one more main colour row and then bind off, an I-cord bind off on all of those like 1,000 stitches, and then I'm done with that. So I am now going to move on to watering some of my plants. I did some of them yesterday, but I need to continue because I have quite a few now, so I kind of have to keep going. It's like an ongoing kind of thing where I've just got to every day check some of the plants out and move on to the next. I have a few that I probably need to rip out. I'm looking at them here and I'm sick of feeling really sad. So my craft desk that you guys would have seen in the background of my podcast and stuff, I've now got an old iMac here. Bucky is still here. I have now got a bunch of plants here. So these here are some propagations for some string of hearts that I am doing. Just got a bunch of yarn left over, and then here this is one of the seed raising boxes that my housemate had for some cabbage seeds that he was growing. He is not using these anymore, so I've just borrowed one, and I have my Cebu blue in here, which is not really doing anything, so I've popped it back in here just to give it a bit more humidity to maybe get it growing. That was a rooted cutting that I purchased off eBay, so it's still alive, it's still perfectly healthy, it's just not quite growing yet, and it could be that it's just still too cold for it. Here at the back I have some Hoya cuttings that was from my mother-in-law that I'm trying to root in here. I did have them in water for a really long time. They were doing absolutely nothing, so what I've got here, if you can kind of see, is some clay balls and basically the equivalent of leca. These are not as smooth and pretty as leca. These were just some that I got from Bunnings. They are for this purpose. They are for hydroponic growing. So you can see there that there's some roots starting to show on these. So finally I've got those to root. Here is a pretty new plant to me. This one is another one of my expensive babies, the Cebu blue, and this one probably the most that I've spent on any plants. This is actually a Philodendron gloriosum, so it's still a baby. It's got some new growth, so it's quite happy. I bought this off a lady from Facebook who I think is moving, so she's had to get rid of some of her plants. But yeah, it's my Philodendron gloriosum. I can't wait till that grows up. And just in here, it's a little bit condensy because it's my prop box. So I've got a lot of cuttings in here, some pothos, some monstera cuttings, and some Tradescantia in there as well, and a couple of little errant bits you might not be able to see, but just in here there's like some peperomias as well, so that is just in there, keeps it nice and moist. And now the sad cases, and I'm probably going to get rid of, are these guys. This was actually a propagation from my bigger Tenanthe that I've got, Labaciana I think it's called. I made the mistake of putting it straight in the soil, and it all curled up, it all kind of dried out and died like this. I thought that's probably wrong, so I put it in some water, it grew roots, I put it back in the pot, and I think it's just pretty much dead. It's not doing anything, so I want to get rid of that. This was a Stramanthe tricolor that I got from my mother-in-law, and it's just dried up and died on me. My other Stramanthe is fine, so I'm not sure why. And then this guy back here was a black cardinal philodendron, and for some reason he just dropped all of his leaves, and that's a new leaf that's just not unfurling, and all that's left is this one leaf, so I'm probably going to get rid of him too because I have replaced him. Going out here, I will show you where the plants are that I watered yesterday. So these are all the ones that I watered yesterday. And you can see just here, this is my new black cardinal. I managed to get really cheap from Stratco, so I was pretty pleased with that. But this is where the bulk of my plants live. So I've got a humidifier there. So these are all my plants. And a couple of these Calatheas here are my favourite. This is an Orbifolia, and this is its newest leaf, and it is huge. Like you can see, my hand, it's like bigger than my hand, and I think this one actually probably needs a repot. I think it's got a few roots coming out of the bottom, so it needs a repot. And then the other one here is one of my favorites, is my Alocasia zebrina. So you can see it's got this really awesome patterned sort of stems. So they're two of my very much my favorites. But yeah, the ones that I need to do now, so I was waiting until I finished the washing to come in here. So I've got this rack here of some more plants. A lot of these don't need a lot of watering because they don't get a heap of light in here. They mostly get morning light coming from the toilet in there. So these two guys here really love that windowsill. That's a Pilea peperomoides there, and that's a little pink panther. So I've got this is another one of my expensive babies. This is a Scissors Discolor here, which I got in the post last week. It had a very long time in the post. It had over a week. I'm really kind of babying this guy. So here it's right above, don't mind my mess, this is all my cleaning products and things. I've got this humidifier here, so it will come up towards this guy here, and I've just got a few little succulents here on the windowsill. What I'm going to do now is check all these guys to see if they need to be watered, and to do that I just use a moisture meter